So this will be my third live. In the past live that was an hour ago, I was trying to make espresso with my Gaggia Classic Pro and my Timemore Chestnut C3, and I kind of broke it. But turns out that I didn't actually break it. It was disassembled because of my mistake. So I just want to clarify that this was an user error, and basically do because I have this contraption right in front of me that doesn't let me quite see what I'm doing with the work in here, but still just a mistake. So what I'm gonna do now, because I just learned how to actually assemble it, we're gonna do it live. We're gonna do that together. I also took a time to clean up the burrs, which was a nice thing. So all in all, even though I was extremely nervous that I may have broken my grinder live, there was a couple of people watching, and that's just kind of those little scares and things that you never want to be doing, like failing live, for example. I don't know, that was not in my bucket list. However, it was amazing because now, one, I got to use my brush. Two, I learned how to disassemble and assemble my grinder so I can now clean it up properly. And if this ever happens again, I know what to do. But the most important thing, which is number three, I know what I did wrong, so I can fix it. So first, let's do this, and then I'm gonna tell you what I did wrong, and then we are gonna try again with espressos. So you're gonna take the body of the timer, which is this part here, and you're gonna grab this stick. I don't know the technical names of this. You're gonna make sure that this part goes on top, because this part is gonna hold it together here. And you wanna have the one that will be like rusking here to assemble it in this side. So the next thing you're gonna use is this little part here. I'm gonna put it facing this way, all the way down. Next thing is the spring, goes here, place the spring, and then the burr. The burr needs to be facing that way, so it will come into contact with the burrs inside, and that's how you will grind your coffee. So that's what goes next. Now, this part is interesting because you have to align those burrs. And there are two ways of doing that in these two little points here. So you can either start here or you can start here. Let's start this way. And you're gonna take this other part and you're gonna make sure that this side will be aligned with this other side. So you're gonna tell, because if it doesn't, then it's not gonna be, sorry, it's not gonna fall into place. So that is not working. So we're just gonna do some trial and error until you get it a little bit to the left. There you go. So now you can actually test that the spring is working. And the next part is this one. But to make it easier for me, I'm gonna grab the upper part and I'm gonna hold it in place here, like that. So now it's easier to hold. And now you're gonna use this knob. Use the knob. And just put it all the way down until it reaches 0. 0 is the point where you can no longer rotate this knob. It means that you have reached the limit. So, okay, there you go. There's no way that I can turn it any more than that. So what did I do wrong? That is the question. So, because I cannot really see what I'm doing, I just assume or kind of confused with another equipment and turned to the left for going fine. However, left, as you can see in this graphic, left gets you coarse and right gets you fine. So instead of going to my 0, going to the left, I should have gone to my 0, going to the right. So what I did is actually go to the coarsest possible setting and then went back 9 steps. With the force that I was applying with my coffee beans, I was forcing the burr out. So the more I did it, the more I was forcing until it finally gave. So just don't do that. And let's not blame the Timemore. Timemore is a good brand. This is an amazing grinder. I love it. I use it every day, but I always use it for espresso. It's my first time attempting. I'm sorry, I always use it for filter. It's my first time attempting espresso. So that's what I did wrong. So now that we have reached 0 and we can no longer rotate it, we're going to go coarse, which is to the left. And we're going to make sure that we are not within the first 6 settings as per Timemore's recommendations. So you don't want to go too fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now that we have those 6, and you can now move it. So that's an indication that you're right. Now you're gonna go. We're gonna say I said at least 9 or 8 because the coffee is not too new. I have a almost 3-week-old coffee, and it's a medium dark roast. So I don't want to go too fine. So we're gonna go to 9, 7, 8, 9. Good. Yes, Jose, that's a very good idea. You should totally disassemble your grinder and check it out. And also, I don't know, clean it up. So I took a chance to blow it and also use the brush to kind of, get it tidy in there, especially if you use any oily kind of things, because it builds up the oil and it's not good. Anyhow, so the plan for today is trying to achieve espresso with the Timemore C3 and the Gaggia Classic Pro. And we're going to do 18 grams as a dose. And we're going to try to get 36 grams out between 25 to 30 seconds, which is basically the definition of espresso. And we're just going to see if we can achieve it with an $80 grinder. So let's weigh out the 18 grams. Let's see. A little bit more. By the way, the maximum capacity of the Timemore Chestnut C3 is 20 grams. So that's why you see it's quite full with the 18. So we put it here in the upper chamber. Put it back there. And now let's see how long it takes when it's actually set correctly. There you go. That sounds very good. No, Stan, thank you for coming. I hope you got that explanation of what I did wrong. So, yeah, it cost money, and yes, it broke, but it was totally my mistake. Oh, yeah, but your one, I don't know if you call it one Z-presso or one espresso. It's actually, I think, a little bit sharper burst. I don't know. Have you used this one? Can you compare? Let's see. It's feeling good because I'm feeling the resistance of the beans. It's sounding pretty well. And I can tell that the beans are actually going through. So there's a lot more progress in this version of this try. But I'm tired from the one before. Okay. There you go. Just make sure that nothing's left. I actually want to check retention. So since I have it still tiered for the lower chamber, I want to see how much it held inside the grinder. So we're going to do that test now. Ooh, that's actually a little bit high, but for a hand grinder that you're spending $80 on, not bad. Alrighty, so let's see. Let's see what happens. What do you think will happen? Like, I don't know. My expectations are not too high, to be completely honest. Let's see, WDT here. There are some clumping, obviously. And call me old school, but I love my wedge. And now tamping. All right. So, Gaggia, amazing machine, but pretty feisty. and I always have to temperature surf. So I just let it run until the light turns off, which means that the temperature is now too low to extract. Then I lock in my portafilter and I wait for that light to turn up again, which will mean that now it's up to temp. In the meantime, I can set up my glass. I change the setting of the Akaya and just kind of wait it out. So now it's ready and we go. Way too fast. Terrible. Okay. That was absolutely wrong. There you go. That was not even turbo. That's just a shame. So we were at 9 clicks. I would say we can go all the way down to 7. Because we have the limitation by Timemore standard, right? You should not go into the first 6 settings. I would say that we're pretty limited in terms of dialing in. Like there's not a lot we can do if it doesn't happen at 7. And there's a very high chance that we don't get it at 7. But here we are, and we're gonna try. I'm gonna leave that there for reference. So let's try it again. I'm just gonna weigh out 18 grams once more. Uh-oh. See, 18. And before we put the beans in, we're gonna go down 2 clicks. So alrighty, and off we go. Should take a little bit longer now because it's finer. So, fun story. The first time I got a hand grinder, so I come from a barista environment in a cafe. And obviously we have electric grinders, and we even had like an electric tamper. It's not something that, I was not used to any of this workflow. So I wanted to get into coffee at home, and I wanted to get my first hand grinder, and I didn't know what to buy, and I also didn't have a lot of money. I was buying it with my tips from the cafe. So I went into Facebook Marketplace and I saw that Porlex, and I'm like, yeah, it should be good. And, pretty sketchy transaction, like, yeah, let's meet up in the middle of the street. Just, busy place, not a house or anything, and only cash. Okay, that's good. And I didn't check it out. I'm just like, yeah, sure. This is the grinder. It was broken and I didn't know. And the burrs were misaligned and I didn't know. So everything took like forever to grind. It was a lot of like physical strength for me to grind anything, and just a lot of pain. It was not good. But I didn't know any better. So if you're in that situation and you're like, this grinder is impossible to grind with, I don't know, maybe it's broken. So don't be like me. Do your research. Try to find out what's the best option. Maybe don't buy an used grinder. Maybe check out the model before and take a look before you actually, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good point. So doing it slowly should work for more fine particles to get into the espresso. So let's see what happens. And here, oh, so we got a little bit of feeding from the last one. That's interesting. It was actually retained there within the grounds, the burrs. I'm sorry. All right. So 0.3 grams we got back. Hey, at least it didn't keep it. I'm joking. I know that's not ideal. Okay. Same routine. We're not gonna change any variables. Let's see if this helps. So again, this is the Biggest pain point of this machine, temperature stability is basically non-existent. What do you think I should get next? Like, which espresso machines do you guys have? If you have any recommendations for me, I'm on the lookout. I need to change my machine soon. So, there we are. Let's see. Still too fast. And the worst part is we don't have a lot of clicks to go down now. So I think the answer for today, look at my little mess, and with this grinder and with these beans is, no, maybe you cannot do espresso with this grinder. The only other thing that I will try is going all the way down to 6, which is the limit, and then going pretty slow and see if that helps. But because we are so far away from the result, I really don't think we're gonna make it. What do you think? You think I should try again, or should we give up for the day? Also, this is my atrocity, but I'm gonna try it out. Like, even the bad shots, we have to try out and learn. That's incredibly sour. Don't drink that. 0 out of 10. Yeah, I like Espresso. Profitec Go is beautiful. I think it's a little bit overpriced, don't you think? Turin Legato is good too. Let's see. I don't know if I'm gonna try again. Yeah, we can do that. I can go back to 0 and then go back to 7 again, just to make sure that I didn't make another mistake. But yeah, I'm positive that it was good. But let's try once more. And the third is, usually where you get the results. Or not. Let's see. In any case, I am super happy that I learned how to disassemble my grinder today. And I learned what I did wrong, so I will not make that mistake. I'm gonna make tons of others mistakes, but not that one. Sorry, I'm gonna take care of that drip. So I modify my Gaggia to have a low profile drip tray, so I can actually fit my cups in my scale. But now, as you can see, it just fills up very fast, and it's quite a pain. Let's try this once more. I'll leave it there. So, the idea was go back to 0 and then go back to 7. So again, we're gonna go to fine and not coarse until we can no longer move it, which is there. And now we go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 clicks. And slow feeding, as Jose suggested. The resistance feels about the same as with the other grind, so I'm not sure that this is gonna be a big difference, but we don't lose anything trying more than 18 grams of coffee. Thank you. I see you quite a lot, Faith and Coffee Bean, in my comment section, and I am thankful to you. Thank you for watching my videos and supporting. And this is the messy setup when we are testing and doing things. Look at that. It's a lot of mess up. Not the clean things you see in the long form videos. Okay, we're almost there. Let's see. There's definitely not a workout for me tomorrow for my arms. I'm quite covered for today. This is real life, believe it or not, my friend. Okay. That should be good. Let's see our retention once more. See if we got a little bit of feeding from the last one or if we got the 18. Even more. Wow. Amazing. Hard to believe that we literally cleaned it up today and took everything out. Forcefully. It's not that we wanted to clean it up. Okay, so there we are. And actually, because we're a little bit overboard. Okay, yeah, just gonna leave that there. WDT once more. Just to get rid of all the clumping, in case that makes any difference. And actually, you can see the grounds are pretty fine. Like, it should yield an interesting espresso. We just get falling behind there. Again, we distribute and we temp. Alrighty. I have no idea how we got that. The math is not mathing. Yes, that is a Timemore Chestnut C3. And what we're doing today is trying to achieve espresso with the hand grinder. And I just did a live previous to this one where I broke it because I didn't use it correctly. You can go watch that one after this and, laughed at me. I just failed live. So anyhow, now we're ready and we're gonna wait for this to turn back to temp, which is now, and we extract. Let's go. That is looking decent. Pretty decent. So maybe overdosing a little bit is making it work. There you go. All right, so that was not perfect in terms of time. It's a little bit fast, but it doesn't look bad. It even has some tiger stripes. Can you believe that? It's nice crema. It smells good. Let's try it. Hey, that's not bad. It's not bad. That one was super sour. This one, I didn't even try that. That's undrinkable. But this one is fairly okay. And I suppose that if you mix it with milk and you break that acidity, because it's a little bit on the sour side, you can make a hell of a latte. So it is possible. I will not risk going to 6 because that will be way too close to the limit. And I really, really enjoy my timer for my filter coffee and I don't want to break it for real. So if you have any questions, this is the time to ask me. Otherwise, the live is done for the day and we're gonna come back. If you have any suggestions, feel free to hit me up, send me a message. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok where it's a little bit easier to connect with me. Otherwise, the comment section and the community are perfect ways to find me and talk to me. Thank you so much for being here. And nothing else to say. This is my 7 p.m., 8 p.m. espresso. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Bye-bye.